Hello, welcome to the show. We are live post New York Comic Con. We have had quite a long weekend. This is the first time, by the way. Just want to acknowledge this, that the three of us are doing the show live. Marco and I obviously have done the show live many times together.
Yep.
When I say live, I mean in person in this case. But Tyler's never done the show in person with us, so very cool to be doing this.
As my cat decides to chew on me.
That's the perfect time.
Yep, he's like,
especially
listen,
when you're busy, right?
you're
Always.
spending time with me now.
That's right.
Yeah. This is what happens when I go to New York Comic Con for 4 days, and my cat is just like, "Yo, what the hell did you do this
Do
week?"
my leg.
You've never left the house for a week.
Guys,
Yeah, he's in a mood.
He's got the zoomies.
We had I'll speak for myself, but I had a phenomenal time. I think that we all worked really hard, as you were able to see through our social media. If you've been following us throughout the whole weekend, we've posted clips and snippets, images from several interviews that we've done. We'll rattle off the list a little bit later. But we did a whole bunch of really fun interviews. Got to say hello to a lot of people we don't get to see too often.
Yep.
So that was a lot of fun as well.
And people that we do see often.
Yeah.
And get to catch up again. Get to see what's up, Kefis.
Hey, let's go, Kefis.
People who like after years of either not being at the con with COVID or who we just didn't get a chance to catch either last year for whatever reason. Like that was good to just reconnect with a few people.
if you see me moving around, it's because I'm checking things. So
Also,
the tech work is very physical. This stream. So
In this scenario.
I can't see what anything says on the screen. So if there's a pertinent comment, just let me know. But so what we're gonna do is we're gonna sort of wrap New York Comic Con. We're gonna talk about all the cool announcements that were made there, some of the interviews and stuff that we got to see, the cool stuff. Give you guys our perspective on maybe the biggest event of the year. And I'm sure we have a lot to say.
Interviewing Rom B.
you've done that before.
Right.
Well,
We did get an exclusive interview though that was actually new to us. So we'll talk about that one in a little bit.
Okay.
But before we do that,
Oh.
yes, I do want to get into the plugs. We are 19 subscribers away as of this recording. It'll probably change while we're doing this.
Sure.
But 19 subscribers away on YouTube from 700. So if we keep this pace,
Let's get
there
it.
is a realistic chance that Kale will have to get on this show and do a backflip.
Well, it's also nice of Cal to join us here.
There you go. Yep, right here.
Yep, he's here.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Channeling this little creature is channeling the spirit of Kale.
I have no idea if that's picking up on the mic.
I think that might be too low. But so hit the YouTube, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. It means a lot. It helps us out a lot. Like the video, share it with your friends. If you want to watch this show live, right now it is 8 p.m. on a Sunday. That is not when we do the show.
Is it 8 p.m.?
It's not 8
It's
p.m.
9 p.m. It's past 9 p.m.
Yes.
It's 8 p.m. Central.
Yeah, right. If you want to watch this show live, it's twitch.tv/The Comics Pals every single Saturday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern. Pals Pulls, which is our comic book review show, is live every single Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So check those out. Patreon.com/The Comics Pals is the absolute best way to support the show. For as little as $3 a month, you can help out your boys, and you get some exclusive content over there. We've got a newsletter. We've got an exclusive show, Palling Around. We talk about whatever we sort of feel like talking about when we show up to record.
Anything and everything.
We should do another one of those soon.
Well, yeah. I was hoping we'd be able to do one here, but, things take time, apparently. But one of the other cool things you can get through our Patreon is you get an exclusive snazzy superhero or supervillain nickname and a shout out on the show. So, with that being said, I want to thank these fine folks. Thunderstruck Rebecca Alejandro, The Night Stalker Harris Nijinsky, Brian Demolisher Del Pozo, Random Rocio, Kefis the Incorruptibles in the chat, The Great Destroyer Hyper Viper 89, Momentum Mike Elliott, Star-Crossed Catherine Stars, and of course, The Ultimate Fighter Snake of Talons. Thank you all so much for your support. So, also, I wanted to say we are not doing any listener comments. Don't expect us to talk about like.
We heard enough from you this weekend, all right?
We heard a lot from you guys this weekend, but also post Jeff John's interview, we've gotten so many comments.
That was only last week.
That was last
That was
week,
literally
man.
last
Yeah,
week. That's right.
Marco, you remember, right?
Oh, every minute of it. I'm frankly thrilled.
Marco was riveted, so much so he was in awe. He said nothing. He was in shock.
Yep.
We thank you guys so much for all the support throughout this time, reaching out, saying you're proud of us. It was a good interview. Whatever you've reached out and said, just like Jeff Johns. That's enough. We appreciate that. So thank you guys for that.
Can I have an apology to make?
Okay.
I didn't. I when I got this shot ready for the stream, I was like, "Oh, the couch is perfectly. So it's not all crotch." I didn't take into account my seat. So apologies to the viewers. This is a very unflattering crotch shot of me. So Sean, go into the rest of the show.
Yeah, that was well said by Tyler's Neurosis.
Oh yeah. That's my stage fright right there, coming to head.
And also, if you want to see some of the pictures and cool stuff that we posted, not your crotch. If you want to see some of the cool stuff we posted, do go follow us on social media at the Comics Pals. I would like to see those follow numbers go up, and I think we put out some cool stuff this weekend.
Yeah, a lot there.
Follow us on TikTok. If you have a TikTok, give us a follow. The Comics Pals.
Yeah.
As soon as we hit a certain amount of people, we can actually simulcast to TikTok, which
it's the goal.
would really help us out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of room for growth there. So if you don't have a TikTok and you're cool with making one, please do. Yes, it used to be a dance app for kids, and now it is not that.
No, it is a dance app for adults.
Something like that.
Sure.
Yeah. So let's talk about what New York Comic Con was like for us before we get into the news of it. So we did all 4 days. Not quite open to close, but we were there for at least 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
I think Thursday we got in, and we pretty much just made the rounds to start.
Yeah.
We've built up a rapport over years with creators that we look forward to seeing, and so when we go, it's just like kind of a love fest in a way, where it's like, hey, it's been so long. Even if they've been on the show, in the
always.
intervening time, it's just like seeing them in person.
For you guys, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the weird friend that's hanging out in the background.
Yeah. Every interaction where it's like, yeah, how have you guys been doing? Oh, that's Tyler.
And
Yeah.
Yep. And it was funny. We spoke to Rom V actually.
Yep.
And
Tyler went to introduce himself, and
I realized that's how weird that is, because like you guys have talked to him already,
right?
You went yourself? You just like walked up to him?
No, we were together. Tyler went to introduce himself.
Oh, gotcha.
And Rom, he was like, "Oh, I'm Tyler. I joined the show." And Rom was like, "I know. I watched the show."
Yeah. The only time someone recognized me. So Rom, if you watch this, thank you. Made me feel good about myself.
Made Tyler's day. But so we made the rounds, and then we said, "Hey, wait, let's see what Tom King's doing."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like randomly. Just like, we'll see if he's around. What happens?
And we saw that there was a line of people, right? And it looked kind of long, but at some point, we were patiently waiting. At some point, we realized, wait a second, that's actually not Tom's line.
No,
that's Clayman's line.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Right next door, he was just sitting alone, and we're just like, wait a second.
He must have just gotten there.
No, dude, he was
every
there
every other day.
No,
it was
because
packed. It could have just been a Thursday-itis sort of thing.
I think it was.
Yeah, it was definitely Thursday because Clayman's line was there. People were there waiting for him, and he was sitting around. Like he must have been there for a little bit.
And so I went up and shot the shot.
Yeah.
And mind you, no thought that we'd actually get Tom King. Just figured throw it out there. We've tried many times, it never works. Threw it out there, and he says, "Can we do it right now?" Yeah, we can do it right now.
Yep,
no
absolutely,
shit, we can do it right now. So we jumped right on that. I was able to get an interview with Tom King. You guys can watch that. If you're watching live, it's not up yet, but if you're watching at any other point, it's live.
It will be. So
it was amazing. It was fun. It was, like whenever you go to get a shot or something, and you're like, oh my God, I have to get a shot, and then it's kind of over before you realize it.
Oh, not alcohol.
No. I wasn't.
Speaking of, if you guys need to, I can easily pour some. So
this could easily be the drinking episode.
What do you think is in there?
You better not have touched my Johnny Walker Blue Label.
No, I did not touch it. Now I know.
Yeah, so that was really cool to get to do. Finally, get to speak to Tom King. You guys will see, but he really, I think he really enjoyed it.
Oh, he had a blast. He was so energetic. I think that was one thing that I did not expect from him. He looks like a nice guy, really low key. But then the moment that he was like, the moment you sat down with him, he was just like, yeah, let's go. I was like, I thank you so much for being on. Like, I'm so happy to be here. Like, thank you so much, and I really appreciated of the energy and just like the time he gave.
He was busting your balls too, which I liked.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, a little bit. I thought we had like a little like a rapport going on.
Yeah, he was good at
that. And then afterwards, I said thanks and stuff, and he was like, yeah, like no one ever wants to talk about Human Target or Sheriff of Babylon. He was like, those are books that I have to work to make people want to buy them.
Right.
Wild.
And the fact that you didn't even bring up when I introduced him, I brought up Sheriff, I brought up Human Target. He's like, you brought up Batman later. Like we didn't even talk about Batman.
Yeah.
So he was like, I appreciate that you guys really like comics. Like you're really into it. So.
Which is fascinating to think about because and maybe this is just like our circle, right? But I feel like Human Target. Well,
yeah.
I mean, I think even like on the Discord and like the pals sort of all around, we talk about Human Target pretty consistently.
Yeah.
So I was surprised to be outside of that bubble and for him to react and say, oh yeah, it doesn't get enough press. And we're like, we do a review every week. Like
at the same time though, it's Smallwood. What press do you need besides showing art? Like,
yeah, right. Like that's
Sure.
another thing. It's like, absolutely, it's Smallwood art. Yes.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
So yeah, you guys can go check that out and definitely let us know, what you thought about it and stuff like that. We're gonna try to have him on the show. We'll see if that works out.
Hopefully.
The rest of Thursday, I think we spent most of it setting stuff up for the rest of the weekend.
That was the schmooze day.
Very sure. Much so. There were some sightings. I saw CB Cebulski.
Who?
CB Cebulski.
I'm not familiar.
Oh, okay. I saw Wild Dan Didio. That was cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Saw Dan Didio. Yeah. So Thursday was cool. It felt low key. It felt low key.
It was low key.
Aha.
I felt alligator low key.
You did?
No, alligator low key.
You saw?
Oh, I did see multiple alligator low keys. Yeah.
I did not. I thought the cosplay was pretty cool this year.
Yeah.
I've seen more inventive years, but I definitely saw some really high quality cosplays.
I saw some crazy wild ones.
Yeah. Cable, you guys saw the Cable, right?
Cable,
That's
Cable's on our TikTok.
Yeah.
Should be on our Instagram as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cable.
There was a whole section that usually is reserved for like the pro and like the press area that they actually expanded, and that entire floor was just for cosplay. I don't know if you got a chance
I didn't even go there.
Yeah, I don't think you went.
Yeah,
it was
entirely for cosplay, and that was really cool to see because everything they had up there, and they were even doing panels on how to improve it, like what kind of makeup to use.
Oh, wow.
Like there was one that was talking about like, oh yeah, maybe if like a sponge doesn't work, use a brush and like this and that, and they're just like they got really into it, which is like it was cool to see like another fandom grow out and like expand.
There was at one point, I don't know if it was a panel or something, but they had a TV just playing old Toonami ads.
Really?
Wow,
Whoa.
dude.
People sitting down watching it.
I
That's
love
wild.
stuff like that. I would have watched that.
That's cool.
I get caught up on stuff like that on YouTube.
Yeah.
The Doctor Strange one with the multiple arms. You guys saw that one?
No, I
I
didn't.
saw it online.
I
I didn't
don't
see it in
think so.
person.
Yeah.
He was doing that old, like street magician trick where it looks like he's floating.
Yes.
When it's really he's just sitting on like a metal thing, and the cane that he's floating with.
Oh,
is,
sure.
Yeah. Not to ruin the
Hey,
magic.
hold on a
Oops.
second.
He's not actually floating, fellas.
Wow, he'll never be able to do that gimmick again.
Nope, we fucking ruined it for him. So
that's terrible. I don't think I'll ever quite get used to the scale of New York Comic Con, especially Sunday. I thought.
Artist Alley was nuts today.
Yeah, it really was, and it's cool to see because, there have been other years where I felt like Artist Alley was a little quiet, and there wasn't that much. Especially the year where like there was that tunnel like we talked about earlier.
Yes, that's right.
I kind of missed the tunnel.
It was cool to some degree, but I think it created an extra effort for people to get down there that they didn't want to do.
So far,
the fact that Artist Alley is connected to the Q Hall for panels is great.
Yep.
Because you go to the Q Hall, sign up for
True,
whatever
yeah.
you're going to sign up for. Hey, what's over here? Oh, snap. All these great creators. Let me buy something.
Right.
I think that they benefit a lot from that. And so seeing it so populated, seeing those creators not have the space to like even talk to you because there's so many fans trying to get a signature, trying to get a print, whatever it is, that's fantastic. And it's cool that people are supporting.
Yep, absolutely. I think the way that it has continued to flourish, and again, like last year was sort of the first time, and people were kind of still nervous and feeling it out. But this one, I think, if not full force, it's grown, and that's been great to see because that can only translate to more for the creators, for the artists. The lines for some of these people, Hickman, Peach Momoko,
Tinian had a huge line
Tinian.
constantly.
yeah.
Tinian's in another stratosphere now.
Yep, very much so. Cool to see.
Yeah, for
Glad
sure.
about it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Buddy, what's
my Lieutenant Commander Jordy LaForge is going to want some attention during
Okay,
this
how did
recording.
you like the convention?
Marco, I told you, no ventriloquism. It does not make for good podcasting.
I did
A rare instance where Kale has nothing to say. What a remarkable thing.
That's true. That's true.
Tyler and I had the, I guess, I don't know about the opportunity, but we did get to see the memorial that was set up.
For Kim Jong-gi.
Yeah, who
yeah.
died.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
Kim Jong-gi, Korean artist who suddenly passed on his way to New York Comic Con.
Right.
Sucks.
And one of the kind of heartwarming things about the whole thing, like that's fucking tragic, to put it lightly. But his booth was still set up. And artists and fans and supporters, they all signed whatever they could on his like tablecloth, which is just paper. So there was just art there. There were flowers there.
Yeah.
There were people like literally drawing like portraits of him. That was really nice to see, and it was in his same spot that he always is in every year. So, that was kind of a good thing to come out of a horrible thing.
Yeah, it was a good sort of way to honor. I didn't get a chance to see it, but you guys talking about it, and I know we had the conversation before where we're both fans of the art, and the fact that it happened was just so shocking. So glad to see that.
And you know what's so tragic about it too is like, there's a lot of times where creators die, right?
Right.
But for someone 47, I believe,
Yep.
so much more life to live at that point, so much more creative expression. What we lost is bigger than what we knew in the moment.
Right.
It's all the potential.
Yep.
And that's what sucks about anyone dying young, but especially someone with so much proven talent, someone we know had so much more to give.
My brother Sean took classes with him.
Yeah.
Wow.
My brother was a huge fan of his, probably like one of his biggest influences. So,
wow.
I wrote my brother's name on, for my brother on the table.
That's really nice.
Yeah. And again, it's cool that people wanted to go by and, memorialize him in whatever way it made sense.
You ever remember seeing him? He was a big into live drawing, so he would just draw.
Yeah.
And he'd have these perspectives that were just like I would never even be physically in a place to see that perspective. And he played with just angles, very weird. His architecture was great.
And always without reference. He
wouldn't reference anything. It was all in his head.
Go for it. Yeah.
Literally, he was a once in a lifetime talent.
Yep.
Yeah,
agreed. Absolutely agreed.
Yeah.
There's a Fortnite loading screen too, which like the last new art that I remember seeing like in something was a Fortnite loading screen.
Really?
Yeah, it was came out over the summer.
That's wild.
Like I unlocked it and I was like, holy shit, that's fucking Kim Jong-gi. It was cool.
That's awesome.
What were your favorite moments from the weekend?
I think my favorite is something that didn't even happen to me. Sean bumped into the WWE superstar Omos, which we got to share that on the Instagram, or something.
Yeah.
If you don't know Omos, it's Omos is what 7'4".
Yeah,
Gigantic.
He made Sean look like a little baby.
It was so wild.
Dude, it was weird. Like, you know, you're at Comic-Con, so you're used to seeing, like, abnormal things, right?
Yeah.
But, like, here's a guy walking who's literally taller than the standees for the creators, like, their big, long posters. And it is impossible not to notice. And so what happened was I saw him, and I was like, oh, my God. And then I said, oh, my God, I know who that is.
No, you said,
Yeah.
my God.
But then someone else said, hey, can I take a picture with you? And he said, yeah, sure. So that was my cue to go.
Yep.
And so I got the picture, which was pretty fun. And then I saw him walking. He had his commissions. He was
What did he
holding
get? I
commissions.
was trying to.
I couldn't see.
I saw
yeah.
something that looked like Superman. So I'm curious to see what he's into. That's all.
And you
That's
know,
so cool.
and he had a regular Sunday badge.
Oh really?
Yeah. Just a ticket to Comic-Con.
Let's say he just wanted to come in for the
Fan.
day. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good thing, right? That
Yeah.
like, fan, right? 'Cause
One of the other
that's how you tell.
weird things for me was I was with my friend Nina, and we were in the press and pro section, and there's an elevator. So I'm like, oh, fucking elevator. It'd be so much easier to use that. So I use it, and it drops us off in, like, the back rooms. You know, that new PC game, the back rooms, where you're, like, in an
Back
office
rooms.
building, and you're just in, like, these unnamed back rooms that there's no doors or anything. And
Yeah.
we're in, like, the catacombs of the Javits Center. And then in walks into the elevator the entire cast of Manifest, the TV show, which is now on Netflix. And holy shit, I never felt so ugly in my life.
Wait, they got in the elevator with you?
Yeah, it was me, my friend Nina, and, like, the whole cast of the show.
Yeah,
Wow.
And they were like, they were just too gorgeous. Where I was like, I got out of the elevator at my friend, and I was like, did you feel ugly getting in that elevator? And she was like, yeah, man.
She was so funny.
I was like, I felt class anger.
Did they say anything to you guys?
There was one other person in there, and be like, oh, you're the guys from Manifest. I don't watch the show, so I don't.
Right.
And they're like, oh yeah, and then she's like, oh, I loved the show, and they're like, loved, it's coming back on Netflix. Why else would we be at Comic-Con? And I'm like,
Okay.
hey, why else would we be? What the fuck do you think I'm doing here? You know?
Yeah.
It's fine.
I think my favorite was actually just getting to see people that like I work with. Like that was cool. That was cool to see like other people that I know that are in the industry tangentially, and that I got to catch up with and see them like work in that environment where I'm usually not so directly involved. So that was a really cool moment for me to connect with him on a different level, and I think the connections made through that helped to solidify stuff in my personal life. So that was cool.
Marco angling for
What?
yeah, you're
What?
right.
Huh?
I think for me it was definitely interviewing Tom King, but actually in addition it was Tyler getting to interview Scott Snyder.
Yeah,
That's
I was
right.
gonna get to that too. Didn't know that was happening.
Yeah, dude.
Literally, Marco talked to somebody new,
See?
and then they're like, yeah, do it in 20 minutes. And then we're texting Sean because Sean
That
Sean
was
likes
so
to do
funny.
the big people
That's
because I get
right.
nervous. Sean is just
Non-responsive.
Sean wasn't too busy. He was too busy gawking at Omos probably. That's probably lined up around the same time. So the time comes and I'm like, fuck it, let's go.
Let's
You know,
do
and
it.
I just
Let's
did
do
it.
it.
You know, I did it.
First of all, guys, I have a phone number that is callable.
People call on the phone?
Yeah, it's a thing that happens. But
That didn't cross my mind
I
actually.
did not even cross my mind either.
Yeah, actually.
that's a shame.
It's such a
But-
fucking millennial thing.
I mean, it's okay though because we got the interview.
Yeah,
me,
yeah, it
me
came
doing
out
it,
well.
you doing it. It's all the same in
That's
terms
right.
of
Yeah.
what we get out of it. So I'm just proud of you and happy that we got it, and I'm sure it was great. So I can't wait to watch it.
And you guys will see it. It
Yeah.
did come out good.
Yep.
Sorry, if you guys get distracted, I'm trying to distract my cat with a feather wand. So I'm not fishing here.
And so if
On the video.
the feather wand works at distracting you, then I don't know what that says about you.
Yeah, well, you might be a feline.
You might be the feline.
You might be a feline.
Oh my
I'm just
god.
gonna start my own comedy bit.
And thanks to every creator that talked to us,
Yeah.
even if they couldn't give us the interview. Thanks for being gracious. The ones that did give us the interview, gracious with their time, their energy, all that good stuff. I mean, you have so many interactions. Even for us as people who aren't tabling, so many interactions over the course of 4 days.
Yeah.
And so when your line is 10, 15, 20, 25 people long, every time you do a signing, even greater than that for some of the people we spoke to,
Yep.
every day, sometimes more than once a day, it gets exhausting. By the end of the day today, we spoke to Ron V.
Oh,
The man looked
drained. Oh, that's
completely demolished. You know,
Yeah.
with all due respect, like he just looked. He
He's-
looked
that's
tired.
it,
You know, it's a
right,
long
yeah.
weekend.
It's like when Swamp Thing is losing touch of the green.
yeah, shriveled up, the shell of what he was, and but gracious with his time.
Yes.
Like the fact
Yeah.
that he was
Yes,
like, you know what?
absolutely.
Yeah, let's do it. Awesome.
And once
Kudos.
the cameras start rolling, you're both just into it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even
Aw.
know.
Yeah, exactly. And it
Um,
was a great interview.
One of the other things that I liked this year was like typically I'm not a personable person. On camera, on podcasts, I can turn that shit on and like do it. So like the interviews, I was fine. But like just like being able to like go up to talk to someone at a booth, you know, introduce myself, like that's out of my comfort zone for me. And I was trying to do that with just people as
Yeah.
well. Like I was talking to like I was like doing some like video for like the TikTok and stuff. And this guy in a Thor costume was like, "Hey, Mr. Gimbal Man," because I was holding a gimbal. And he's like, "Can you just do a video of me on my phone with Hawkman and Hawkgirl?" And I was like, "Excuse me, Mr. Gimbleman's my father." And he thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, you did actually say it?
Yeah,
Oh.
I did. And then I helped him out. I took some shots for him. But you know, I was like people like the guy in line for Daniel Warren Johnson. Where he was like, "What commission should I get?
Oh,
Do
yeah,
I
yeah,
want
he's
like
cool, dude.
James Hetfield or Doctor Strange?"
He should have gone for the Hetfield. I think he should have
I
gone for
told
the
him get James Hetfield as
Yes.
the Sorcerer Supreme.
dude.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know what he
yeah.
actually went
Yeah.
for. So I'm curious to see what Daniel Warren Johnson posts.
And like especially because Daniel Warren Johnson is such a metal fan.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you have to do that.
and Hetfield's like an iconic face too. Like
yeah,
like
yeah.
like Lemmy, Dio, Hetfield. Like there's some other people.
Yep.
Yeah. So until next Comic Con, you know, in terms of
Oh, is that the show?
physically being there.
Oh.
No, not quite.
Okay, I'm ready for bed.
Yeah, we know. But there's still a lot to talk about because a lot of news came out of the event. First of all, all we're about to talk about is not necessarily the totality of the announcements, just because, you know, stuff happened even today that I'm not even aware of. But this is the stuff that, you know, it felt appropriate to talk about. The stuff that's most important that happened at the event.
Plus, we need material for next Saturday because this coming week is going to be dry as shit, most likely.
Well, we didn't even do a news bit last week because of the Jeff Johns. So, like, we have
That's
never
right.
talked about Hugh Jackman and Deadpool. We haven't
Oh,
talked about any of
yeah,
that.
that's
So,
right.
That's happening.
we've got
Yeah.
material. Don't worry, Tyler.
Okay, all right, we're good.
Yeah. Speaking of material, Marvel put out a list and an event. What would you call it? An event map, if you will, of 2023.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah. Well, I
that's
got it right
that's
here if you
that's
want to. Okay.
I can pull up my own notes. Thank you
okay,
very much, Sean.
all right. I just wasn't sure if you wanted to piggyback off my homework. So Marvel put out their event schedule for 2023. I mean, I guess technically 2022, 2023, because it starts with Avengers Assemble, which we know about. I don't want to like get into the stuff we already
Sure.
kind of know about.
Yeah.
But Avengers Assemble in November, that's Jason Aaron's, you know, the end of his run with the Avengers, and then Dark Web, which is the X-Men, Spider-Man crossover.
Venom too, I believe.
Venom is a factor,
Yeah.
I think they're trying to build this as a Spider-Man X-Men crossover for the fact of like Spider-Man and the X-Men having like such ties in the past.
Fair.
Okay.
But yeah, they put out a trailer. It looked cool. You know,
Put out trailer. Look cool.
yeah, it did. It did. The Rod Reese art was good.
It's coming out soon, so we'll be
Yeah,
talking about that on Pals Pulse.
December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Real soon.
We got more information about Sins of Sinister. This is January 2023, which is what Marvel has kind of like, without saying it, kind of coined as their X-Men event month. Like their X-Men events have started the last two or so in January.
Oh, well, X Lives. And
X Lives and
Deaths.
X Death
That's
started in January.
Right.
X of Swords was in January.
Wow. Was it really?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Was it Ten of Swords?
Last.
Ten of Swords, my bad. Yes, you're right. We know now that this event is going to be an Age of Apocalypse-esque sort of event where things are warped. It looks like Sinister's machinations with the bodies of Moira that he has have kind of thrown reality out of whack and have resulted in different like possible futures that are 10, 100, 1,000 years out. And so it looks pretty interesting.
Like similar in the was it Hoxpox?
Yeah, a Powers of
Yeah.
10
Yep.
style
Gotcha.
thing
That
as
makes
far as
sense.
that goes. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. And we've been theorizing about how that all plays into it, because obviously he has the bodies and when is the right time to use it? And even in one of the most recent things that we were reading, I'm forgetting what it was, in one of the trials, I feel like, he had considered using it and like, oh, should I reset the timeline?
Right.
Like, is this the moment? And then
So
Destiny.
Immortal X-Men.
Yep.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, yeah.
Issue 1, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and Destiny like sort of looks into the future and advises not to, and so it's cool that is paying off now.
Quickly, too. Immortal X-Men was this year, you know?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
we're not even done with it.
Oh,
Right?
sorry?
We're not done with it.
No,
We
no,
still-
no.
We still have
Well,
a few. We still have a few issues
something's
left.
coming up.
Yeah.
This is paying off. It's definitely paying off what you're saying, Tyler, but it's also paying off House and Powers.
Right.
Because Sinister's been doing stuff since then. We know that Immortal X-Men, X-Men Red, and Legion of X will all be replaced temporarily to tell stories within this Sins of Sinister new age, if you will. Immortal X-Men is going to be...
Immoral X-Men.
Immoral X-Men, yes.
Yeah, which Gillen was quoted as saying, like, the reason why Immortal X-Men is called that is because he wanted to do an Immoral X-Men.
That's
as
funny.
Well. Yeah, like
I did
Immoral
not know
came
that.
first, and then he needed the wordplay,
Oh,
so
that's
that's how
funny.
Immortal came
Okay.
about. Yeah.
X-Men Red will become Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants.
Which is appropriate based on what's been happening in X-Men Red.
Exactly. And Legion of X will become Nightcrawlers. I don't know if you guys saw, but Nightcrawler's going to get horny.
I thought Nightcrawlers is the game that Frank and Charlie play under the sheets, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Whoa, that's a reference that went like this, right over my head.
Thanks, Marco. Yeah.
Nightcrawler's going to grow some horns. We saw from solicits, cover images we got from Immortal
Oh,
X-Men.
that's what you meant.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it's because of all the Nightcrawlers.
No, well, he's going to screw himself.
I don't know. Sinister? Who knows?
That's fair.
It's clones.
Very fair. So that's going to be interesting. We got news that Paco Medina, Patch, Zurcher, and Alessandro Vitti will all be joining those books.
Let's hope we don't have any soft heroes to draw on those books. That's for sure.
I love it. I love it.
So that's going to be fun. And then there's going to be a one-shot Sins of Sinister Dominion #1.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good
So,
stuff.
Pretty cool.
A robust event.
Yeah. Yeah. We also got, and we'll be talking about the X-Men again shortly, but we also got news of a Captain America event. Captain America Cold War.
There we go.
Everything's okay over
Yeah,
there?
yeah. I'm just the slides are going through.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there are 2 Captain America books right now. There's Captain America Sentinel of Liberty and Symbol of Truth, both with their own respective creative teams. Those books
And
are going to... Sorry?
And Cap.
And Cap, yes, absolutely. Those books are going to cross over. And the events that are currently happening in those books are going to like coalesce into what this event is. We got to see a promo image of Winter Soldier's new costume.
Nice.
Did you guys see that? It looked badass.
Marco, you can see it in a second when it shows up on the screen
Well,
because I have it. Up there.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that production quality, guys.
Can I say I finally got to like one of the benefits of this week has been the train rides to New York City for me because it means I've been catching up on books and I needed the time. I read issue 2 of Sentinel Liberty. That's the Steve one, right?
Think so?
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I don't remember.
That
Sure.
sounds right.
It's good. It's real good.
Yeah.
I had a lot. I was like, oh, this is some good Cap shit. So yeah, I'm excited for this.
Awesome.
How do you guys feel about Bucky's new top knot?
Yeah, so I'm actually like anti-top knot
No,
as
really?
a thing for all men.
Really?
Yeah, so this was not
I'm
really
into the
working
man
for me
bun.
too much.
Especially
the man
if,
bun.
What's his face has to draw it?
Who?
Patch, right? Isn't he?
Oh,
or was that
gosh.
X-Men?
that's X-Men thing.
Okay, all right, good, all right.
But the costume itself, I think, does look pretty cool.
That does look cool.
Yeah,
The cape,
but there's other images too that are awesome.
but that cape, little hanging over right now,
Yeah.
that looks real good.
That's another one if you wanted to see it, Marco. He's got this really cool cape that actually has the Winter Soldier star on it instead of being like on his person, which I think is kind of cool. Which is really the biggest change.
It's
that
a little
he's
more
got a cape.
stealthy, you know.
Yeah.
But also, like the
Yeah.
cape is like, oh, this is a superhero.
Right, because capes are anti-stealth, but somehow Batman is stealthy with a cape.
I
don't know.
say a cape is stealth. I'm gonna go.
Yeah?
Cape.
I
Cape
agree.
is stealth.
I agree.
All right.
I agree.
All right, I'll take that L there.
Well, because like
Um,
you could like do the thing where you like hide.
Cover. Yeah, exactly. Right, right,
That's how the vampires always get
Dracula,
me.
Dracula.
Because that
Yeah,
works.
all the Draculas out
Well,
there.
obviously, right? Have you ever caught a Dracula?
You ever check in your shower, make sure there's no Draculas in there?
Yeah, I could never find one in my math class either.
Yo, no joke. As a kid, anytime I went into a bathroom, I'd have to open up the shower door curtain because I thought vampires were in there.
Stop.
I had no context for it, but like you don't know if a guy's hiding in there with a cape. That's why I like this Bucky
You
cape.
don't know if a guy's hiding there with a cape.
Or specifically a blood-sucking fella.
Fair enough.
Specifically, a
Those
cage
blood-sucking Draculas out there? Or
Um,
Blackula?
I've seen a few of those.
Or even Scott Bakula. He might be in there too. You never know.
Who's that?
The actor from Quantum Leap
Oh my God.
or Star Trek Enterprise.
There's nothing Tyler loves more than a reference that no one but him gets.
esoteric.
There are people out there.
All right. People just dying
The
laughing.
good
at
people
home.
on both sides.
As Tyler's cat plots against the
Plots the fall of man.
yeah.
I got a red feather for him because we have cardinals that are here, so I'm training them.
Rather, Marco, the fall of X. That's what Marvel's plotting, because that's the
Oh, Leigh William involved?
I don't know. That's the summer. Well, I should say before we talk about Fall of X, Summer of Symbiotes. I didn't create a note for it because I don't care.
Well, yeah. Well, do you know what it's about? I didn't know about that one.
Margot was talking about Fall of X and his feelings about ending the Krakoan era.
Me no like.
Really?
Well, because the whole situation about it is I from the very start I want to stick with this era of X-Men. I like Krakoa, like everything that's being done. Not every title necessarily is the best, but I do like the concepts. I like the creators who get brought on, and I think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting world for the X-Men to continue to be exploring, and I don't think we've hit its fullest potential. And for them to pull the plug on this, I think is for me too early. This is, and maybe I'm coming in from like, in terms of weekly comics, I came in with New 52, and we stayed with that for what, like 6 years or something, maybe
Something
more,
like that, yeah.
right? And like that felt like a good amount of time. We got everybody's story. Not every title hit 52 issues, but we got where we needed to go with all of the stories, and people were able to really communicate what they needed to, and that felt ample. This does not.
Sure.
And this has been Hoxpox was 2019.
2020?
2020?
No, it wasn't 2019. It wasn't 2020.
2019.
2019.
I think the tail end of 2018.
Yeah, well, something like that, because we saw the panel at Comic-Con.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And that was where they talked about Doomsday Clock that same year.
Yes.
So I guess that would have needed to be 2018.
Okay. So what is that? Maybe 3-4
July
years?
2019 is
Okay,
when
so-
the first issue came out.
All right,
So-
so there you go.
3 years. This is going to happen 3 years later, right? This is the summer of 2023. Oh, I guess 4 years later. But I want more. I want more because I think they can explore more and they can do more. And knowing that, I'm upset about that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to continue to be here.
Sure.
I think that all it's going to be is the dissolution of them being able to resurrect. I think that's how you get rid of the Krakoa era without getting rid of Krakoa as a place.
Right.
You know, because I think that's going to be the hardest thing to do. Like, Krakoa is a living thing that can easily, literally destroy the island.
Sure.
But like, the X-Men have been so disenfranchised from like a central location for a long time. They've had Genosha. They've had their Central Park location. They've had
The treehouse?
yeah. They've had the one outside California on the island.
Yep.
Do you remember the name of that one?
I don't remember.
But they've jumped around so often that I'm okay with Krakoa being this semi-permanent location for them.
No, but like, I know that Yonkers, right? Wherever is it they're at?
Westchester.
Westchester.
We're in Yonkers.
We're in Yonkers, sorry. Right. But like Westchester being a thing that they've always existed in, fine. That's where the Xavier Institute is. But I think that's where the Xavier Institute is. That stays as a separate place. Krakoa, I think, can continue to proliferate as this island nation. And I've never read a part. Like I was never part of Genosha. I was never part of like all that stuff. So my familiarity with that and my association to those things are separate. And this feels like cool, totally unique in the way that it's introducing the X-Men and where they can potentially live. Mm-hmm. And I don't want that to go away. And if they're that comfortable with this reboot and then just removing it like they have everything else, why am I going to care about why am I going to care about Sins of Sinister in that case? Why am I going to care about the following events coming with after the fall of X? If I know at the end of the day, yeah, we're going to pull the plug on this. I don't know. It doesn't read like faith in the product there.
I would counter that by saying, "Welcome to superhero comics."
No, go away. No.
But like we know the movies are coming. Like, I think whatever they have planned for the movies, we're going to be seeing something similar in the comics. A return to probably something a little more simple.
So it's funny you brought that up, because I was going to throw out my theory that, the movies are coming and they need to get along to a place that is a little bit more familiar to people who don't read comics. And another part of that theory is that what if this was a part of the reason why Jonathan Hickman actually had to leave?
Oh.
Hey, I have these big plans. Wait. The movies. Corporate synergy.
Right.
I know it's not going to be there. I might as well just bow it now.
Like, if Hickman really had a 5-year plan or whatever.
I thought he just read Ten of Swords and he was like, I'm good.
Like, clearly this is not playing out to the fullest of what he wanted. So
we should have just asked him at the con. It was only a 2-hour wait.
Yeah, right. No kidding. Yeah. So that's. I'm not excited, admittedly, for this to end. I love Krakoa. I love what it's done for the X-Men. I don't want us to go back to a place, and maybe this is just an irrational fear on my part, being an X-Men fan, and how they were treated for so many years.
Yep.
It was right before Krakoa at times. We're like, oh, I was just going to kill Cyclops. Randomly. Oh, he's back. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough.
Oh, let's bring back the original 5 and then do basically nothing with them.
Whoa. That's Stuart Immonen and Brian Michael Bendis.
All due respect, I mean,
I loved that stuff.
I don't think that they were allowed to do anything overtly interesting.
I'd argue that's Bendis. In so much that Bendis constantly always does Bendis-y things, and he might reinvent a couple things, but you always know he's going to bring his toys back together. He's very neat with that.
That's true, but how could you say that knowing that they were literally told you can't do anything interesting? Like, they weren't told.
Oh,
that
fair. I know what you mean. Like editorial, there was a quote unquote mandate that nobody will ever say was real.
Right. Bendis on X-Men in an era where he can do what he wants, I think that's interesting. But in an era where he can't, that's almost assuredly why he brought the 5 back. Because it's like, well, what else can we do?
It's the same characters. I'm not making new ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Although he did make Gold Balls. So
who is actually a major player now.
Agreed.
Different name, but major player.
Bring Tempest back. Oh, wait, she's not part of the 5. No, she could be.
So, in keeping with the X-Men, we also got an announcement of a new book, new title, Bishop War Captains, I believe it's called.
The crowd goes mild.
Yeah. So the premise of this book is that Bishop is training the next generation of war captains to be ready in the case of whatever happens on Krakoa, to protect Krakoa at all costs.
Okay.
Now, on premise, that's totally fine. It's being written by Jay Holtham, I believe, who wrote for the Netflix stuff. I'll grab my phone in a moment.
Okay. I did spring you that we're alive before you grab it.
And so that's fine. There's talent there. First of all, I was confused as hell by the cover. I was like, okay, I know Bishop's dark skin, but that woman's wearing a Jean Grey costume. The 90s Jean Grey. So what's up with that? Oh, snap. Cyclops is black? I don't get it. So I'm not sure. Like
I was more confused as to how DC's Steel joined the team.
So yeah,
I got another question though.
Mm-hmm.
Is Beast black or is he just blue? Is this like a?
He's black
like
and blue.
So Skeeter from Doug. Got it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think this is a 3-issue mini. So, I got to say, not an exciting announcement. I'm glad for more Bishop in a major position, but this just isn't quite it. What I am excited about, thank you so much. What I am excited about is actually the creative, or not the creative team, but the team in the book. Because in the book, we're having one of my favorite characters who I've been yelling about for the last couple of years now, Surge.
Oh, there we go.
Hey,
Yeah,
Surge
Surge
Tanky
is
from
shit.
System of a Down, joining the X-Men. Got it.
We got Armor, Surge, Cam Long, Aura Charles, and a Mass. That is a wild team.
Who's a mass?
I had to look some of them up because I'm like, who the heck is this? And boy, oh boy, it's an interesting team. But I think when you combine a team of characters that people don't really know with Bishop, who never really kind of held his own as far as having a main title, I don't know that this screams big sales,
but he's a cool character. He's I think he's cool to lead a team.
Mhm.
It kind of reminds me of like Forge in a way where he's sometimes in the background, kind of can hold his own, and it'd be cool for him to lead some sort of faction of something. And now he's technically on the X-Men, if I remember correctly. And
Yes, Bishop is his. He's not on the team.
Wasn't he on the X-Men?
No,
he's
not
on Marauders.
He's on
Oh,
Marauders.
that's what I'm thinking of. That's right. Okay.
And he's part of the he's like the anyone anytime there's like a war that needs to happen, he gets called in. So.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I think this is. I don't know any of these characters.
You know Armor, really?
I heard of them.
You certainly do.
Whedon's run, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen Armor. You definitely have because
Yeah.
she's around, but maybe you didn't recognize her as such.
Okay.
Surge, you probably have never seen, and I cannot tell you how excited I am for Surge to be in a comic. Oh, and by the way, it was called War College, not
okay.
War Captains.
Okay.
But we also got the announcement of a long-awaited book that Marvel announced once, and then it kind of fell off the face of the earth, and now it's back. Bloodline, Daughter of Blade is finally going to be coming out.
Hey, synergy.
Yep. Synergy. It's funny you say that. Blade actually just got delayed.
Did it really?
Yeah,
Well,
filming's delayed to
Filming's
2023
delayed. We don't
because
know
they
if,
lost
yeah.
they lost their director.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
so here we go. As far as Bloodline, Daughter of Blade, the synopsis is as follows: introduced earlier this year in Free Comic Book Day Avengers X-Men, the Daughter of Blade makes her long-awaited return in Bloodline, Daughter of Blade, by the New Heroes creators, writer Danny Lore, and artist Karen S. Darbo. Brielle Brooks is a good kid, no matter what her teachers say. It's not her fault she's developing vampiric superpowers.
I told you, Dracula's.
So, that's cool. I don't have, like, a deep care for Blade, quite frankly. And I'm not a big fan of the, like, here's my son, Blade 2. Or,
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
not really
Bladette.
my thing. Yeah.
Beyblade.
Stop it now.
You think Blade's daughter's gonna let her rip in this? Not like that. There's not gonna be any
'Cause
weird
I was
farts
gonna
on
say,
this.
that's
Yeah.
a different kind of content.
Oh, well, hey, $15 usually.
Ooh.
This has been, I believe it was originally announced as like a Tim Seeley book. Years
Years
back.
ago, and it was canceled in part because there was an outcry that he should not be writing the story of a black
No. Okay.
teenager.
Sure.
No one ever says that to, Mark Waid.
Or Jeremy Whitley when he writes young girl characters.
Bendis.
People tried. They threw that
They
at
tried,
Bendis with Miles and Riri, but I think that was missed.
Uncancelable. No, that's not true.
Well, as far as that goes, he should be uncancelable for that reason.
I mean,
'Cause
he's writing it for his kids, really.
yeah, and
Yeah, so.
look at how big. I mean,
Fair.
Riri's about to debut, and
That's right.
Miles is huge. So
Yeah.
Riri,
Yeah,
and
sure.
of course, debuting in Black Panther.
Yep.
So yeah, maybe she'll be big. I don't know.
I think
Blade's
so.
daughter.
Who
Did you
knows?
read the Free Comic Book Day?
I didn't.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't dislike it because Blade's one of those characters where like he has not really been that important in the comics.
Mm.
I say that even though he's an active Avenger and he has been for 5 years now or something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
which is bonkers still.
It is.
But seeing somebody like tackle the vampire side, the Dracula's side of the Marvel universe, they've been up to some stuff. So just seeing a book set there is exciting for me.
Is he on the current team?
Yeah, he's an Avenger, man.
Oh, shit.
He's also the sheriff of the vampire colony in Russia. Where the Dracula was.
Yeah. They did that in Wolverine. There was like a thing where he.
That's right. Yo, the vampires are up to shit, man. I'm telling you.
It was cool.
Real life too.
That's.
I read things.
Oh, yeah.
Did my research.
You saw some vampires over the weekend?
Oh yeah, I saw too many Draculas this weekend.
Hey, yo, some of them not too bad.
Yeah, wrong kind of sucking, Marco.
Oops.
Sean.
Right. Wow.
Little banter.
Yeah. So we got a little bit more. I don't want to say information because I don't think we got information, but we got images from Jonathan Hickman and Valerio Schiti's newest project. Based on what we've seen, which now they've shown images of various character designs from whatever this new series is going to be, I think it's pretty clear what this is. I really don't think there's any reason to even debate it. I think this is very clearly the return of Doctor Strange.
I disagree.
Okay. Let me say why I think it's
sure,
it's
and I'll tell you
Strange.
the theory I saw online that like sold me.
Okay, so in my mind, this character has a very, very, very similar look to Doctor Strange. He's got the white in the hair. He is a white dude, especially Image 4. If you're watching live or you're watching at home, Image 4 looks closest in my mind to what we associate Doctor Strange with.
The shortest hair one.
The
right?
shorter
Okay.
hair, yeah. So, and then the second slide features a character who looks astonishingly like Jubilee, but also the character who's been in Doctor Strange since Aaron's run. Zelma, thank you.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah. Looks like Zelma.
Okay.
I think one of these guys is the Beyonder. Maybe the white dressed character. I don't know. I feel like a lot of these characters look like characters that we already know.
And that's why I think it's not.
Fair.
Because if it was, they would have just told us.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
there's a theory I saw online, and it has sold me on this. Is that this is eternity, this is death, this is chaos, this is order. These are the cosmic beings who've now come Sandman style to Earth, and this is Sandman in the Marvel universe.
Oh,
interesting.
And
I
this
like
is
that a lot.
and they showed evidence of it, like the way the different costumes look. There's a guy with like the two faces.
Yeah.
That is chaos and order. The two sides there.
Oh yeah.
Eternity is who's the yellow one that's like Eternity's wife or whatever. Because Eternity does have a wife. Eternity, who was in Thor: Love and Thunder, is essentially this Doctor Strange looking guy, and the other one is his wife. That idea was like, yeah, that sounds like something Hickman would do. Like,
and it says it here, things of order, like there's like mentioned to it and whatnot.
The press for it is also weird, but it's also like, why show us these characters if they're just new characters?
Right.
It has to be something. They're giving us something, but what is it? Total reimagination of characters.
I do believe that it's possible to play with those concepts within the confines of Doctor Strange, but I also can see like why tease this if it's just Doctor Strange.
Sure.
But to be fair, when he was doing X-Men, they teased that before we knew it was X-Men. So
That's
fair.
true.
We'll see.
I think there's a lot going on within the Strange world still right now. Like
Doing some strange stuff.
Yeah, like Clay has been. I think what Jet has with Clay has been really, really cool, and they're continuing to explore that. And I don't know that they're quite ready to resurrect, at least in the book and with the sort of the direction that it's going. This is in 2023, and you know when in 2023?
I don't think Hickman knows.
I'm not sure we have a confirmation.
They only gave us
Gotcha.
character designs in a year.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I mean, still that feels a little early, especially with the direction that book's been going. I think it looks like it still has a sort of a long tail for that, and so I don't know. I think I might agree. I don't have the same context as you do, Tyler.
This
but
is also not my theory. I saw this on Twitter. If I could find the thread, I will attribute.
yeah, fair. And but I do see the current trajectory of Strange and that title to not yet lead to this.
Fair. What Doctor Strange died? What? Almost a year ago.
Nah, not even a few months ago. It was this year.
Not even a full year.
Yeah,
Really?
I think it was this
Death
year.
of Doctor Strange, what I think was
like in
it finished
February or
this year.
something. Yeah, probably February,
Okay.
March.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Well, that's all we have for the Marvel side of things. I don't actually think Marvel's announcements were terribly impressive this year. I think that, well, first of all, it was cool that they gave us the announcement of their event schedule at New York Comic Con. I think New York Comic Con tends to be the more comics focused event for Marvel, so
Yeah.
they definitely gave. But I just can't get up for Summer of Symbiotes. That's just tough for me. And then
I'm hyped for it.
the Fall of X,
not it.
I don't want us to get to that place yet. I imagine it's going to be written by either, Gillen or Duggan or Spurrier or someone like that. And I've not been as high on their stuff lately.
That's fair.
So I'm really struggling right now when it comes to the X.
It wouldn't excite you outright at that point.
Yeah, if you told me Hickman was writing it, all bets are off.
Cool.
That's
Yeah, for sure.
But short of that.
There were some new X-Men titles announced today, but we'll get to that next week.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
cool. We'll talk about that.
There's one that might excite you.
All right. Well, I'm always interested in being excited, so hopefully we can get to that next week. We did get a Spawn movie update.
Did we?
Huh?
we got a MS Paint announcement.
So I don't know about you guys, but a Spawn movie excites me.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think Spawn is great.
Yep.
I am a big fan of Spawn at this point.
At this point,
I'm into the idea of, Jamie Foxx. Like, all that's fine. Whatever. I wouldn't even necessarily say I'm into the idea of Jamie Foxx.
I'm
being
into the
Spawn.
idea of Jamie Foxx.
Yeah,
Not Jamie Foxx himself.
fine.
Yeah.
Sure, whatever. Like, that can work.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's been dormant. It's been quiet. And so Todd said, hey, we've got a huge announcement. You don't want to miss this. He hyped it up the way only Todd McFarlane can. And
Dryly.
Through Procreate.
yeah. And what we got was a video that Todd filmed somewhere, I assume, in New York City.
I believe it is near Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that sounds about right. In order to say that the movie now has new writers.
Oh, great. We passed the ideation phase.
Yes. So Scott Silver is going to be a part of the creative team. He wrote Joker.
Nice.
Malcolm Spellman wrote Captain America New World Order, but he also wrote for Captain America and Falcon Winter Soldier.
Okay.
And then and Matt Mixon rather. So that's pretty much what Todd had to say.
I thought the video was very informative, frankly.
For who, Todd?
Now, I this is weird because in the announcement, that's basically all Todd said.
Right.
But Todd did an interview with CBR and said more that probably should have been in this video. He said that he realizes now, because they're getting A-list writers, they have an A-list star, they want A-list actors, they want a studio to buy this movie, that the studio will almost assuredly not buy the movie if the director is Todd McFarlane.
Oh, wow.
And so he's willing, begrudgingly but willing, as a businessman, to say, you know what? We need to find someone other than me to direct this, and I need to be a little bit more hands-off than I initially wanted to.
I gotta say, this is the one time where I am happy that capitalism overtook the creative force.
I agree because I think Todd is so close to Spawn.
It's his baby.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
That I don't think that he can necessarily conceptualize at his age, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way in any way, shape, or form, but at his age, with his connection to the character, I don't know that he knows how to connect Spawn to this generation. Spawn sells off of nostalgia.
Very much so. Yeah.
And badass factor for people who like that kind of thing who grew up in the 90s. What about kids today? How do you reach the person who's 25 right now?
Right.
What does that look like? I don't know if Todd McFarlane has the answer to that, but I believe that Todd McFarlane and an A-list director and these writers
And the writer who wrote Joker. Talk to the kids.
Well, no, but to that point, right? Like when we were reviewing, the summer of Spawn, that we would always comment. Was it Sean Lewis, right?
Yes.
Anytime he was on the book, we'd like, oh, this kind of slaps. Like this is cool. This is somebody who's taking the source material, doing something interesting with it, all the King Spawn stuff, and then there'd be those issues where Todd would just come back and it was palpable in the writing, in sort of the stylization of how he wanted the flow of the issue to go. And he's so ingrained in it, and he knows exactly his niche, right? But I don't think he knows that his niche is not what everybody wants, right? I don't think he's realizing that. And when we would read it and Sean Lewis pop up, yes, this is working. This is what it needs to be, and we need more of that. So I think you're right. This is a good decision. I don't need a monologue from Spawn, in the movie doing whatever.
You need any more news segments?
I don't need an Alex Jones analog.
What are the violators, Alex Jones?
Oh my god.
He needs the money right now.
Like the actual Alex Jones?
Yeah, like the actor.
Yeah.
The actor.
I can see it. Yeah. Persona.
I guess he is that's fair.
For years I was convinced Alex Jones was like an act. It was a performance piece, but it's gone too far at this point.
Well, be that as it may, this is probably like the totality of this announcement, including the not directing piece, that got me up. So, not like
phrasing.
Oh my god. So now I'm more looking forward to what we get next.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
With this announcement, when do you think the movie comes out? When Jamie Foxx is octogenarian or something?
You know what?
He's in his late 50s at this point.
He is. And Todd said that Jamie's commitment to the film has never wavered. So,
because this is like promising your friend that he's not like, he's like, oh, when I write my first book, I really want you to read it. You're like, I know that guy's not writing a book anytime soon. I'm going to agree to it.
No doubt, dude. I'll definitely. Oh my God.
Send me your screenplay. Yeah, I'll read it. Shoot him my email.
I can't wait to help you move into your new apartment with your wife. Because I don't believe you're getting married.
Or without.
Oh, gosh. So that's the Spawn of it for this week. Pretty cool, I guess.
For this year.
Right. Let's shift over to DC. I think DC had a much better, or interesting, at least, New York Comic Con from an announcement standpoint. And I want to start with what I think is the biggest of them all, which is Joe Quesada.
Let's go.
Has returned to DC. They announced this at the Jim Lee and Friends panel. Joe Quesada is returning to DC. He's going to be doing covers for Batman. According to him, he received a call for this literally days after his announcement that he was leaving Marvel.
Well, duh.
Wow.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
This is like it's like when Adam Cole became a free agent, like for a wrestling thing. It's like, that's an A-tier guy. As soon as you can legally get him, you get him.
So he's doing the variant cover for Batman 131 and 132. Those are both coming out at the beginning of the year. Assuming those are not the only ones he's going to be doing. The covers
do we know if these are A covers?
These are actually not A covers, believe it or not.
I can believe it because they're going to monetize this.
Yeah. Marie Javins is the one that called Quesada and put the feelers out.
Also a phone number you pick up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think this is cool. I love Joe Quesada. I always will. What he's done for comics is borderline unmatched. Very few people have done what he's done, especially starting from very humble beginnings to rise to the ranks that he did, editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics. That's remarkable. Not a lot of people get to do that. And I want to see what he has to do with Batman as far as the covers, but I hope that parlays into something else.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him kind of flex a different muscle by drawing these, brooding, rooftop-dwelling characters.
Yeah. Just like, Daredevil.
Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about that. You think a DC gets a Cup of Joe panel now? Can he legally use that?
I probably not.
No,
probably
no,
not.
Definitely not.
Quesada quesadilla panel. Or something. I don't know.
To go with the Spanish Heritage Month tamales.
Yeah, that's
no.
right. Yeah.
Yes.
He's got his own variants to show off. Yeah.
Quesada and queso.
Oh my God, the variants are just pictures from his house on his birthday.
Yeah.
I think the stuff that they showed looked pretty cool, like the variants that he
The
did.
artwork, yeah.
Yeah, Batman works for him.
Yeah.
Or the inverse. He works really well in Batman.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's interesting that he's not like working at a higher capacity level, like previous editor in chief.
Why would he?
No, but
like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure he's fine.
But I feel like you could insert him somewhere, right? Like he's been an ideas guy at that point, right? Like I feel like you could take advantage of that.
Sure.
Right?
This could be the dipping your toe in the
Sure.
DC water there.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Joe doesn't want that.
I'm kind of feeling that too, yeah.
Because if you look at the last, I don't know, decade of Joe Q at Marvel, there wasn't a lot of that going on. I think it's possible he felt like they were not acknowledging his ideas, but we didn't see a lot of Joe's ideas being implemented at that point. And on top of that, DC is in the middle of a huge, I guess they're at the end of a huge restructuring and all this stuff that's gone on. I'm not sure that this is the right time for Quesada to enter into an executive position at the company.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
The other major thing, and I think that this was the character of the weekend, was Superman. They announced several Superman announcements. So much stuff is coming. If you're a fan of Superman, it's a great time.
You're eating good coming up.
Yeah. So let's start with Action Comics. So Action Comics is going to be now telling 3 different stories within the book. Yeah.
Woof. Is that like with backups and stuff, or
no? They're 3 different stories that are all kind of like taking up space.
I see.
Simultaneously,
almost like an anthology, except they're continuing anthology. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. I know what you mean.
So we're gonna see the fallout of what's happening now in Action Comics, where Lex has, in some form or fashion, conscripted Metallo to help him kill Superman.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
We're gonna see the result of that. We got the other. There's 2 other stories there. One of them is actually by.
Sorry, my cat just sneezed right into you finished rigging that, I hope, Sean?
I did now. It's over now. There's a Power Girl story, actually. That's going to be written by Leah Williams.
Yep.
And drawn by Marguerite Savage,
I believe.
Savage?
Yeah. It's good. That's a good team.
That's a really good
it's
team.
pretty cool.
And Power Girl is one of those like characters that like Leia's got it.
Yeah.
Please.
Power Girl, like if you read like the Palmiani Cotter, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's got a mouth on her, so I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, and like if you're familiar with Leia at all, if you read Exterminators, this is right up her alley. So we're getting that. That is it's Power Girl post Lazarus planet, which we're going to talk about a little later. So it's seeing kind of what her status quo is like post that.
Post 1-Star Squadron as that Mark Russell joint.
Oh snap! That's right.
Yeah, where she was just a girl boss.
Dan Jurgens and Lee Weeks.
That's a classic team,
right? They're reteaming for Lois and Clark 2, Doom Rising.
Doom Boogaloo.
Lost me at Dan Jurgens.
Oh no! Okay, Marco, I'm gonna go on a limb here. Like that dude still got it.
No, dude.
On Lois and Clark, that dude is one of the guys who just understands Clark and Lois to a T. We'll read it. You'll be wrong. It's
all right. I'm glad to be wrong.
And Philip Kennedy Johnson is staying on the title. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
Are we getting what's his face in it as well?
Who?
Because wait, no, that's the next book. Well, we'll talk about it. I have a slide for it. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm excited for Philip to stay on the book. I think I just jumped on. I'm a late adopter, but I love it. So
yeah,
I'll definitely continue to read. We're getting a new adjectiveless Superman #1 with a very hot creative team. Joshua Williamson, hot off Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, and Jamal Campbell from Nightwing are going to be teaming up for a new Superman #1. This is actually sounding pretty interesting. Joshua Williamson talked about how Lex, Lois, and Jimmy and Superman are all super important to a Superman story, to Superman's mythos.
Okay.
And that Lex was actually Joshua's way into the Superman character to write him for this book. And so it's
Therapy,
gonna have a
Joshua, therapy.
it's going to have a big focus on Lex and sort of answering, well, if Lex's mindset is, if I can't kill Superman and the world needs Superman, then I need to be the one controlling Superman.
Okay.
And I need to find a way to convince Superman that he needs me.
Batman and Joker situation?
It sounds like that, but I think in reality it'll probably play out differently. I like the Lex, I mean, who doesn't? The Lex Superman dynamic. And an expansion on that makes sense to me. I do believe, though, to your point, that there is a limit. There's only so far you can push that before it just becomes Joker, Batman,
an obsessive situation. And all that.
Yeah, like I don't think that Lex is obsessed with Superman to the point of like mental illness.
Right.
I think he just really, really, really doesn't think Superman's good for the world.
Which was the book that we read where he's like, I just want to be Superman?
Oh yeah, that was Blackest Night.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
That
see, that shit hit.
Yeah, you got to read the Paul Cornell Action Comics run with Lex.
Yeah.
It's right around the same time as Blackest Night.
Okay.
There's an issue with death. I told you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So this is cool.
What's the hubbubaloo with it being adjectiveless?
Nothing. Just
Oh, okay.
it's just cool.
Superman and then Action Comics.
Normally it's
Gotcha.
yeah. So we are getting that. Tyler,
Jamal Campbell.
Yeah,
Real
right.
good. Yeah. He did Naomi as well, right?
Yes,
Yep.
I think so.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty cool.
Good art. Yeah.
And then Superman, Son of Kal-El is canceled.
Oh. Womp womp.
But Adventures of Superman John Kent has been announced,
Hey.
which will essentially replace Superman, Son of Kal-El. Tom Taylor's returning.
Oh.
Clayton
okay.
Henry is returning. And they're going to be telling new stories about John Kent.
What is this like reboot situation with the same creative teams? Like, what's the purpose?
Is it selling to #1?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It
Well-
works. It works for the trade too, I think.
I also think that in this particular case,
Oh,
I'm
that's
not
nice.
I'm not as mad because Adventures of Superman is a title that's meaningful in the Superman lore.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to give that to John, I think is a big statement.
I like it too.
Yeah.
Because now you do have 2 Supermen. And is the Black Superman in this as well?
Ultraman is in this.
Because there's a cover art that I put on it was from
Yeah.
the article.
Yeah. I think that's Ultraman from another planet.
Oh, that's not good.
I think, because this is what it talks about. So Tom Taylor said this. This series is going to be one of the most action-packed comics I've ever written, and John is going to be tested more than ever before. While we can tell you the Superman of Earth 2 Val-Zod, oh, I see. The Superman of Earth 2 Val-Zod and John's nemesis Ultraman will be key characters in the early parts of Adventures of Superman. What we're going to reveal at the end of issue 2, we'll have everyone talking. And
Ultraman's a big deal because that's the cause of John's age.
right.
Fast aging. He took him captive for years.
So that's Val-Zod on the cover,
Yeah,
like you said.
yeah.
Ultraman is going to be
No, he's good. He's good.
the antagonist of this book, at least in the early portions. That's really exciting. I
Yeah.
love Ultraman.
Yeah.
I
I love
didn't
Val-Zod
realize-
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I didn't realize that Ultraman was the cause of John's
Yep.
torment.
Kidnaps him.
Yeah.
Keeps him in a lava pit for years.
Awesome. I mean, that's
No,
terrible,
I mean,
but
wow.
Nah, that's pretty chill. That's pretty chill.
oh, yeah.
He's the one that in the villains,
Crime Syndicate,
right? Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
You want to get the antagonist of your favorite event, right?
Yes, dude.
Fear
Yes.
itself. No.
Please no. Well, no, fear itself. No, never mind. I was gonna try to defend it.
Well, here's in Crisis.
No, please. But don't say that in front of Tom King, dude.
Oh, I was tempted.
Tom, if you're seeing this,
I know you were.
I'm glad you took that interview.
I know, because you would have.
I would have asked horrible questions.
He would have been like, "Wow, nobody talks about that series."
So why did you destroy Wally West as a character?
What was up with Poison Ivy, huh?
Listen, man. Poison Ivy. I'd love it if Poison Ivy was in every comic I read. I don't care what she's doing.
I mean, he got the feet pics for it.
Hey, shush. Next
Oh.
question.
Speaking of green, let's talk about Lazarus Planet. So, Lazarus Planet is, for those of you who've been paying attention to DC over the last few years, you will realize something is happening with the magical realm of DC Comics. And this is the event that all of that has sort of been building to. Whether or not they knew it would take this particular shape, probably not. But there was always going to be a magical crisis event, and this is that. So this event is going to focus on the magical element of DC, whereby post the current Batman versus Robin event that's ongoing, we will see Lazarus essentially rain down on DC, the Earth of DC, and not forever, but alter the people who live on Earth. And the powered people who live on Earth will experience changes and advancements to their powers that they never could have imagined. I got a feeling from this that Gotham is going to become sentient.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I could be...
Like Dark Knight's Metal?
Yeah. Like, I could be reading too far into it, but that's the vibe that I got.
Some of the promotional art's really interesting.
Yeah.
Especially the cast on here is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Because nothing screams mystical side of the DC universe quite like Cyborg.
Yeah, right.
It's Cyborg, it's Power Girl, the Monkey King, is it the Monkey Prince or
Monkey Prince.
he's on this, which I thought was an interesting little wrinkle there.
That's one of the new new books, right?
Yeah.
Yang.
I don't know who it's by, but and in one of the other promotional images, Batman has the helmet of Dr. Fate.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was okay, all right.
Yeah.
Who's the creative team on this again?
So this is by, let me see if I can find it. Well, this is going to have several different books. So there's 7 one-shots.
Okay.
So I don't think we quite know the creative teams yet. But we're getting Lazarus Planet Alpha, Lazarus Planet Assault on Krypton, We Once Were Gods, Legends Reborn, Next Evolution, Dark Fate, and Omega. So it's going to release weekly from January 10th to February 21st.
And is this spawning out of Batman versus Robin?
Yes.
Okay, so I would assume Mark Waid would be.
Yes,
somewhere here.
Mark
Okay.
Waid. Mark Waid is absolutely a part of this.
Okay, well that's
So it's gonna be show run by Mark Waid.
Okay.
But then it's also gonna have Riccardo Federici, Gene Wen Yang, Billy
Makes
Tan,
sense.
Nicole Main, Skylar Partridge, Francis Manipool, Dan
Nice.
Waters.
Manifold, where the hell has he been?
Right, that's a name.
I was just thrown in there in the mix. Yeah.
Philip Kennedy Johnson, Josie Campbell. That's not the full slate of creative teams.
No, but those are good names.
But
Yeah.
those are great names.
Yep.
And then they're also wanting us to answer these questions through the teasers.
Okay.
Can Power Girl free herself from the out-of-control Omen? Who are the mysterious trio claiming to be resurrected siblings of Raven? Will Dreamer's visions guide our heroes to the path of victory? Can Mercy Graves survive the transformation she's undergone? I'm not going to read the rest. There's a lot.
Who's Mercy Graves?
Mercy Graves, if
that-
I'm
is that
remembering
Lex's?
correctly, is Lex's
Interesting.
assistant. Yeah.
She's a robot.
Oh, she's a robot now. I didn't know
She's
that.
always been a robot.
Was she really?
I believe so. Yeah, she's always been like a cyborg.
I did
Or
not
like
know
a-
that.
Like AI.
I had
Because
no
it's
idea.
Lex.
Wow.
God forbid he actually has a human, working for him.
Huh.
I was always under the impression she was some form of robotic thing, which I guess if there's magical stuff changing people, What if this is the old Tin Man situation from The Wizard of Oz, where she gets a heart? You know, she gets.
Oh, she first appeared in Superman the animated series.
Really?
Yeah,
Didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay, all right.
In 1996. Yep.
You know, I like when a comic makes me ask questions, but this reminds me too much of Dr. Bones.
Oh, Director
Yo,
Bones.
let's
Yeah.
go.
So on the train ride here, I was reading DC Vampires. And at one point, Director Bones gets destroyed by a nuclear blast. Spoiler. And it's just his head and the spinal cord, and he's just
No, you're good. You're good.
he's just talking out of just his head. And it was kind of fun.
Oh my god.
Sorry, my cat keeps trying to attack Marco's feet,
No,
and I know that shit doesn't feel good.
I'm
so
provoking, so-
Marco's like, "Oh, it's fine." I'm like, "I know it's not fine.
I have cat.
That shit hurts."
I get it.
Yeah.
I'm provoking.
So
Stop twiddling your toes like a little ballerina, Marco. He will tear up your clothes too, so careful.
That's about it for the comic side of things. But there was one more announcement that I wanted to speak to, and of course, again, if we missed something, it's either because we just didn't want to, do too much, or because it happened on Sunday and I wasn't aware of it. But the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about here is actually the huge change that's coming for DC Universe Infinite.
Ooh.
So DC
I subscribe to that.
Oh, like a French chef tasting his food for the first time. Ooh, this is delicious.
DC Universe Infinite is going Ultra. And what that means, Marco,
I is the alpha.
is that for an introductory price of $99 a month or a year, imagine.
So the Marvel Comics Unlimited price,
Okay.
Right, which in that instance you get some kind of free
physical stuff.
Yeah, you get.
Which I
physical
haven't gotten
stuff.
mine yet. Marvel, you gonna work on that? Still getting my service ticket.
Step it up.
You will get a physical exclusive comic book, The Death of Superman 30th Anniversary Deluxe Edition, which is fine.
You get a new old comic.
Yeah, but for the price of $25 extra, which again is a promotional price. The $99 is promotional.
Whoa, is it really?
Yes, there will be a higher price
Oh
point.
shit. Okay.
And you'll be locked into that $99 as long as you remain active. But I haven't told you what you get.
What do you get?
1 month between release in physical and digital,
Oh.
compared to 6 months.
I thought it was 3.
Oh.
It's 1.
No, I thought it was previously 3.
Oh,
No, I think Marvel did that.
Marvel
does
Marvel
3.
did
Okay,
that,
gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha. I forgot DC was
so
6.
DC
Okay.
has pushed it to 1 month
Oh.
between.
Wow. Sure, comic shops love this.
Right. So
Hmm.
this was the other concession that they announced, was that now all DC comics will be returnable.
Oh, interesting.
Because, of course, comic shops are going to feel like, well, wait, if we order into Superman #1, but a month later people can read it, you're shafting us.
Right.
So now they'll be able to return that book if it doesn't sell, potentially as a result of this new initiative.
Interesting.
I am very, very, very pro comic book store. I know I go to the Evil Empire store, Midtown Comics,
Yeah.
but I love comic shops. And I have always banged the drum of the closer you get to day and date for physical and digital across the board, the closer you get to oblivion for comic shops. And I think that this is another step in the wrong direction just to sell subscriptions, and I really don't feel good about it.
See, I disagree because you can currently do that with Amazon. Well, you could do a Comixology at the moment. You can buy day and date, and they make up a fraction of a percentage of what total sales are. People still end up going to the actual comic book stores at the end of the day. They still go to the shops, and I think even if you bring, again, a small subset of people will either double dip into having a Comixology Unlimited, into having a Marvel Unlimited, and then having DC Infinite. So I think this will be an even smaller subset of that small subset within digital comics that will be buying will want their comics to come quicker. So I don't think that this change will necessarily infringe on those people. I don't think it ultimately affect the comic shops just because of that small volume. And me as an activated user and frequent user of DC Infinite, this is not appealing to me. Like, I don't necessarily care that I. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
I thought about it.
Yeah. Because that's just ridiculous. Like, there's a massive gulf of difference between Comixology having them day and date, but you having to pay for the individual books, versus waiting 1 month, but you can read every single book that came out.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I might fuck with that. Because then let's say at any given moment, DC books are what, $5 right now, right?
4 to 5.
4 to 5.
It's less than $10 a month.
It's less than, but that means that in any given week, I need to, let's say there's 4 weeks in a month, right? I need to buy one DC book a month in order to make the equivalent, or let's say 5 purchases of DC books in total to make that subscription worth it, that upgrade in subscription worth it. Then that means I can now, I don't necessarily have to pay Amazon for that. I think it only affects, actually, I think it affects Comixology more than it would a comic shop, in that, because now I only have to buy the books that I'm reading for the show here that are DC, right? In any given moment, let's say Swamp Thing, right? Other than that, I might as well just upgrade here, pay $25. No, subscription is $80, $20 more, and as long as I get it within this 1 month promotional period, I am locked into that price for the next X number of years
until you cancel.
Until I cancel, and I'm more than likely not going to cancel because I use it beyond that. And if I make the transition from Comixology to I'll just wait a month, I don't care about the hype, I'm here for my books, that's actually a pretty good deal for me.
I'm more than a month behind on my single issues right now. So.
Fine, fair enough, right? Okay.
But you're already digital, so you're not a factor. Think outside of yourself. Think about people who say, you know what, going to the comic shop every single week, I have to jump in the car. It's kind of a slog. I don't do a podcast every week, so I don't need to be, reading every single week. If I wait a month and I can read every single DC book that came out that month and I don't pay for them, I don't think that there's anything that could be more appealing other than day and date.
I think it would only affect the people then that would come in for DC books, right? It would only be people that come in on Tuesdays, because then at the end of the day, people are going to come back and be like, well, I have to go pick up my Marvel books. I have to go pick up my Image books. I have to go pick up the rest of the things that I do anyway. So why would I only for this publisher transition to digital if I already have a habit built in?
It creates a cascade. It starts with that. But look at someone like Nihilus, for example, who's a listener of the show. He gets a monthly delivery from his comic shop, whichever one it is that he chooses, of his books. What if he said, you know what? Why would I do that? I'm already a month behind because I only get it once a month.
Right.
I might as well just read digitally.
Yeah. If anything, that drives more people away from the comic shops and into like Marvel Comics Unlimited.
Right.
Especially since they're going to figure out something to match this.
Yeah.
It's tit for tat all the time.
It is. It's literally tit for tat.
So we will... do they match them or do they go forward and be like, all right, day and date?
I really, really think you would see severe backlash.
If they go day and date, that's the death of comics.
Yeah.
Comic book stores.
I would pay so hard for that.
I mean, I think one of the other things, too, about this, particularly the DC Universe Infinite Ultra, which, horrible fucking name, guys.
Right?
Yeah, they got to short
DCIU?
Yeah, DCI. Yeah, give me 35 millimeters DCIU, please, stat. But if they can bundle this with either, HBO Discovery, HBO Max, whatever they want to call this new streaming platform. Sure. There's a reason why I have Comixology Unlimited is because I have Amazon Prime.
Right.
There are these bundles that just help.
Amazon Reading, you get it. You get it.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't use Amazon Music. Nobody else does. But but if they can bundle it with something else, like HBO Max is a selling point. And if you could say, all right, HBO Max, what are you paying? $5 a month for it? You pay 10 or you pay 7. You get this added to it as another option.
Sure. It's borderline a no-brainer, and that's what scares me about it.
Yeah.
It's becoming so much almost smarter to
think about gas
home.
Money. Gas money just to go to the shop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
So I'm not at the point of fear about it, But I am definitely saying caution because I just think DC's made a lot of anti-comic shop moves over the last 2 years that make me wonder if they care about that market.
Well, and they had their digital. They continue to have their digital first initiative, and that for stuff like all of the what is Milestone? All the Milestone stuff came out day and date. The promotional crossovers with Fortnite, with the FaZe Clan, all that shit, right? Like that was day and date.
You big FaZe Clan guy, Marco?
No, I'm a big Fortnite guy though.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But like,
actually, I keep going. I have a Fortnite related thing that's relevant.
There you go. And I think that those people, I still think it is currently too small of a population to impact the comic shop industry in any real negative way. Currently.
Today, when it's 3 months separation, or rather 6 months separation, and today when the books that they put out day and date are typically books that people who don't read comics all the time will look at. Like Fortnite comics are not for people who go to the comic shops. Those are for gamers who sit at home.
Right.
So it makes sense.
They literally just did the same thing with Marvel Fortnite comics.
Right.
Where the final issue came out, and then Marvel released all of it on digital the day the final issue came out physically.
I don't have a problem with that because that's actually audience grabbing.
Sure.
That's trying to find new people.
And that came with skins and stuff too.
Right.
So,
It was a perfect.
Do you have Unlimited?
Which one?
Marvel Comics Unlimited?
No, I don't know.
Oh, you can get a cool Spider-Man and Iron Man skin.
no.
So you get Wolverine claws to break stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Not going to beat out Goku. But
I didn't buy the skin. I screwed up, man.
oh man, that took over Fortnite. Huh?
I'm
Big
making
L. Big L.
But yeah, so I just think when you're talking about something that is promotional and books that are meant to try to find new audiences, that's different than Superman #1.
Sure.
I hope I'm wrong, as I say all the time when it comes to this subject. I'd rather be wrong, but DC hasn't shown me any comic store forward initiatives in the last 2 years.
And they started those last 2 years by saying we're going to be a digital first or digital friendly company. Like that has been the priority and the mandate, to your point, right? And I think they've kept promises on that. And for me, a reader who is that, I'm happy with that. But I think with this change, or with this addition rather, I would think less than 50% of the population who currently has a DC Infinite subscription would make that switch. I would not be confident that even 40% of people who currently have a subscription would upgrade to that, because it's more money right now.
I'm not even sure even 40% of the people who have the subscription realize they're paying for it still.
Sure.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
My question to you as a numbers guy is, what if 10% of the people who read DC comics that buy them every week or whatever their cadence is, said, yeah, this is a better bet for me?
I can
10%.
easily see 10% being sure. As long as they get the news of this out there.
Yeah. And they announced it at one of the two biggest comic book conventions of the year.
And the biggest day.
Biggest day. If 10% of people stop going to comic shops, that ain't nothing for those shops.
Yeah.
DC
They're
gets
barely
their money
squeaking
either way.
by.
Right.
Yeah.
That ain't nothing.
Per book. Let's say it was a Batman title with like $60K per.
You're gonna do some real heavy math right now.
Right now, yeah. What was that? That's like maybe like 3,000 people. That's not bad. 3,000 people.
But you're talking about Batman.
Sure.
What about what's something that struggles to sell? Let's talk about like Poison Ivy. Poison's doing okay.
But Batman related title.
But I can't even think of
Monkey Prince. There we go.
Yeah, what about something that's on the fringe that needs that maybe now people don't go to the shops and pick it up? And by the way, how do you delineate what's selling and what's not if people are reading it for free online?
Yeah, those metrics are not good. And no offense, the current state of Warner Discovery, I don't expect them to care about fixing those metrics or making those visible or anything really.
I'm sure they have that.
I'm also not too strong on the. I'm not too, I guess, trustworthy in their ability to make a coherent platform too.
Indeed.
How is DC Universe Infinite?
I like it. It's pretty
called.
good. Yeah,
It's okay.
it's good to navigate. I enjoy the reading experience.
Better than Comixology right now. Work on it, guys. Please help me.
Yeah. Dude, oh my god. Wait, did I tell you what happened? I was preparing for the Ron B interview, and they had a recent update on the Comixology app.
Oh yeah.
And for whatever reason, it read that I had 11 gigs worth of things downloaded. When I went to go to my downloaded section, it only read one book, which was Virtually Yours, because I did Jeremy Holt, and I couldn't delete the rest of the books that it said I technically had.
You had corrupted data in there.
Right.
Oh,
yeah. So I
just
had 11
screwed on you,
gigs
yeah.
worth of corrupted data,
Nice.
and so I had to offboard the app, delete the app, reinstall, and then try to get the books that I was trying to read in order to prepare.
To be fair, as a guy who worked for Apple, that's an iOS issue. That's not,
Oh, is it really?
That's definitely an iOS issue.
Alright.
The fact you're able to delete the app and re-download it and you're fine, that's not a Comixology issue. It's just iOS not knowing how to read deleted data correctly or
No, but that's the
caching
thing. I couldn't. I had those books saved. I had them downloaded.
It's
Ready
probably
to
cached
read.
wrong. Yeah, cached wrong on the app. Yeah, it's just
Well,
yeah. I'll give Comixology on that. You're probably not. It's probably not their fault. Yeah.
Well, that was the user experience I had, and that's the
It's
face.
UI though. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
UI.
Yeah.
so-
And
Talk to Tim Apple.
There's no UI involved in picking up a comic book.
Right.
Yes,
right,
there
right.
is. Door handles.
Oh my god.
The shop owner
Whether or not the
going-
shop owner actually turned the lights on or dusted the place.
Is the shop owner MAGA?
Yeah,
CG.
There was another comic shop that I used to go to as a kid. It doesn't exist anymore. Where like I loved it because like I would pick up my books there in high school, but I swear to God the place just reeked of like cat piss and like
Nice.
everything was full of like a good inch of dust. It was like the idea of a comic shop that like is stereotypical in a way, and it was like, oh, this is real. I'm pretty sure there was a dead dog there.
Oh my god. Oh god.
Yeah, he just sat in the same spot every day.
Jesus.
move.
That's
But like, go there or just in your underwear, just do it on your iPad. You know, at this point.
yeah. I mean, we did it. We did an interview with Claire Napier. She's a great editor, and she talked about her experience as a young girl going to comic shops and like it being a really bad like time where there were these just a bad. You can imagine fill in the blanks.
Gatekeeping
right?
fans. Yeah.
Exactly. So
That was a great interview.
as I really enjoyed having her on. As a woman, or as a person who's anxious, or as a person who has, something that would make other people look at them or pay additional attention to them in a way that's unwanted, it's like, hey, I don't even have to experience that anymore. Not to say that I like want them to have to experience that, right?
Right.
But like, I would personally hope that someone would try a different store.
Yeah.
Or something like
there's
that.
There's a social struggle in a way. Getting
Right.
Past that, yeah.
Right.
But now there's just, hey, jump on this app and you can circumvent all of that. It's a double-edged sword.
I mean, that was my first comic experience where I had just started getting into it, and I decided to stop going to Barnes & Noble. So I'm like, well, I want to start picking up individual
Marco,
issues.
were you the anime kid in Barnes Noble and then the anime aisle?
No, no, I was the comics guy because I would get my manga, I would get it from like friends mostly.
At least you
And-
weren't the guy reading the Playboy magazines inside of National Geographic and like, dude, I can see it's Playboy. Playboy's a bigger book than National Geographic.
Wait, they sold
No.
Playboys at Barnes
Yeah, they
Noble?
did, dude. I used to work at Barnes Noble for 5 years. No, 3 years. And I used to have to clean up the Playboy issues from the bathroom.
Oh,
Are you serious?
I found a Playboy book stashed in someone's underwear behind the toilet of Barnes Noble. Yeah. We had to like stop guys from reading Playboys like near the kids section.
That is really gross. Wow.
Yeah, it's fucking grimy.
But my first experience going into a shop was like, I was just
Sticky pages.
I was just like super nervous, and like the person who like I later befriended, but initially was like one of those. He was one of those guys who's just like kind of like unfriendly and like a bit difficult to approach. He was very much when I went up for like a question, I'm like, hey, like I'm trying to find whatever, and he's like, oh, you don't read that? I was like, oh, I'm trying to get into it. He's like, oh, yeah, all right, fine, sure, whatever. And like later we became friends and whatnot. And that's just like his personality, very much kind of like Kale. Like imagine Kale being like the storefront and like the greeter.
Yeah, grand opening, grand closing.
Yeah.
Like,
But that was the experience, and so I can appreciate how the app for new readers is much more friendly than that, right?
yeah. So that's going to do it for our conversation about all the announcements that came from New York Comic Con 2022. I want to say, again, we had an absolute blast. I want to thank all the creators that we interviewed. You guys will see those interviews rolling out over the course of this week. Some of them are already out.
Jed McKay is out. I did an interview with Jed McKay where I talked about Mary Jane's dump truck ass. And Mark Russell. Today, yep.
Yeah.
Talked about Fred Flintstone's dump truck ass.
His feet, man. Fuck. It's a Flintstones. That is part of it. No, never mind.
We need to create a Comics Pals drinking show. Drink every time Tyler references feet.
Yeah. Ooh. Let's see.
Nope. Keep going, Sean.
What would mine be? I say let's go.
Let's go. Okay. Swamp Thing reference.
Drink every time Marco talks about acceptable losses.
No.
And mine?
Every time you transition. Every time you
congrats, Sean.
I mean,
I accept it. Yeah, that's fine. Well, we're with you.
Trying to get us canceled, Tyler.
No, I'm just saying.
Uncancelable.
So every time I transition, because I transition every segment. So a good transition.
Like one where we're like, good job.
Oh, yeah, you guys be ossified.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we had a great time. Thank you to all the creators that we interviewed. Thank you to people that said they saw us and, stopped us or watched one of our interviews while we were doing them. Thank you to the person that blinded me while I was doing the Tom King interview by taking a snapshot.
With the flash on, right? Yo, I saw that.
Yeah, that was nuts.
It came out on the video, too. I was looking at...
I was doing the interview, but, I couldn't really see anything. I was just so focused on...
Yo, and I was wondering why you had those little birds swinging around your head. I was like, where the fuck that come from?
Yeah.
You edited those out, right, Marco? They're not in the...
No, I managed to get them. I got them post.
Yeah. We will have a resumed to normal schedule this coming week.
With Kale.
With Kale, yes, with Kale.
Right.
Kale got a week off. We will be doing Pals Polls at 6 p.m. on Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. That is twitch.tv/thecomicspals. Saturday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern for the main show, this show, where we're going to be talking about the news that's not New York Comic Con related. We'll respond to your listener comments.
Might as well be a listener comment episode.
I know, right? We'll
Q&A.
talk about our feelings post Jeff Johns. We'll say thank you for all the YouTube stuff.
Guys, he's still alive. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Jesus, Sean.
Jeff Johns is alive. Yes,
yeah,
that is
exactly. Post Jeff Johns.
true. Oh my God. Post
Jesus.
Jeff Johns interview.
Oh, got it.
Yes. Patreon.com/thecomicspals. For as little as $3 a month, you can support your boys, your pals, and you can you get some pretty cool content.
Marco, you're up this week on the newsletter?
No, Sean, right?
I went.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mine's out already.
Then I am,
Yep.
yeah.
I talked about my experience with New York Comic Con over the years, and
Oh, cool. Okay, cool.
yeah,
Food for
stuff
thought for you,
that.
Mark.
Yeah, mine's going to be slightly different. Different from what I've been doing, so
Oh,
Yeah.
going back to the muck hole.
we'll see.
If you like the shirt I'm wearing, if you like the hoodie that Marco has on, there's a store for that.
Yes, sir.
It'll be linked
It's in the-
somewhere.
yeah.
It's in the Twitter bio.
Yeah.
The Twitch bio if you're watching
And
Twitch.
Yeah.
all of our bios.
And everywhere else,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah, so go to the store. We make no money from that, but getting the merch. Well, we make some money.
We make
A
a smidge.
fraction
Just
of
a smidge.
something.
Yeah.
Some
yeah.
kind of money. We'll work on that.
Mostly
but-
just to have. It's cool.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah, I got my cup. I like my cup.
Yeah. Oh, you had the cup. I saw it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
My
my
masks are coming
drinking
in.
glass.
Oh, I want to get
Late.
the hat now. I want to
Your
get the
mask
hat.
came in
now.
late.
It's not even here yet. It's coming.
Yeah. I should get the hat though. Yeah, the hat's good.
Yeah,
Not
snap-
the bowl hat.
The
No.
bucket cat?
The
No,
bucket.
dude. I want this. I want a snapback.
Yeah.
I don't like
Is that available?
I can double check. I think it should
probably
be.
put it on there.
It should be.
If you guys have anything you would like to see on the shop, let us know.
Yeah,
we might be able to add some things too. So
Yeah.
socks, you want?
Well,
Nope, not saying it.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Take a shot. Oh boy. YouTube.com/thecomicspal. Subscribe for free. Like the video. Share with your friends. All that's free to do. Helps out a lot more than it costs you. Watch our Blackest Night book club. It's the latest one we put out. Watch it. Listen to it. Wherever it is that you like to engage with us. Twitter, Instagram, @thecomicspals. Leave us that follow. We appreciate it. Every follow counts. Let's do the plugs. Marco, you're up.
Thank you so much for listening to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in for anything related to New York Comic Con. It was a blast for us. So really appreciate you guys running those numbers up. You can find me at Mr. Marco Enomoto on Instagram and Twitter. In terms of, I've been watching One Piece. I made the commitment. That's it.
Oh boy.
I have
What did
content.
you learn about commitment?
Huh?
Did you learn anything about commitment lately?
Oh no, trust me.
It's fleeting.
I can commit. I can commit. And I have content for the next few years.
Decade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have
Is
stuff
it
to watch.
over?
No.
No,
Yeah,
dude.
so you're on the hook.
I'm in for the long haul, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man, and it's such a good hook. Oh, it's been so much fun. And yeah, girls. I've been watching girls.
And yeah, girls.
Who's your favorite?
So all right, so I
we
feel like
go.
I'm more of a Shoshana, and
That's what everyone says. Who's actually a Marnie?
no, I hate being a Marnie. Oh, I'm a Marnie, dude. No. Oh.
I always feel like I'm what's Zoe Mamet's character? Not Shoshana, not Lena Dunham's character, not
Oh,
Marnie, the fourth one.
Jessa, the British girl.
Yeah, I feel like it could be.
Yeah. Okay.
She was my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, 3. Should we do a girls podcast?
I only watched the first season.
after The
I
Wire,
never
after
liked
The
it.
Wire.
Yo, years ago, I thought about doing Guys on Girls. It's just a guys show.
Oh,
Talking
that's
about
so
girls.
funny.
Yeah.
That's a good title. We need to do it now.
Yeah.
We're late on that, Marco.
I don't know if anyone's done it.
Oh yeah, Lena Dunham
And-
is canceled.
Yeah.
She's
That's
not gonna
right.
come back, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's right.
Nepotism for you.
Yep. Speaking of, why don't you do your plugs?
Yeah, so my plugs, you can follow me at
Nepotism?
the Tyler Olson on Instagram and Twitter. I want to give a shout out, actually. Shout out to security guards at Javits Center.
Oh
Yes.
yes, big shout outs to security
Yo,
guards.
we were hanging out with 2 of them. I didn't catch their names.
I
I'm so
know.
sorry.
Oh man.
But towards like the end of the show, they're like, "Yo, I'm ready to leave," and they were like telling us all the dirt on it. Yo,
So good and thankless job. Genuinely a thankless
oh,
job.
100%.
And let's not share the.
No.
No, but like one of them got pushed like in front of us.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys saw that?
We were like a second away.
Yeah.
She was like, "Yo, you just missed it. Somebody pushed me." I'm like, "What?"
dude.
Just because they couldn't use the bathroom, you're gonna shove. And this is like somebody who worked at Artist Alley, so like, yo, what the fuck, guys? Come
Yeah.
on.
And she was called a bitch.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
Yep. But she was just fucking taking it.
Yeah.
Well,
She was good. She was fine though. She was fine.
She was
more
flying
than
high.
She was vibing.
So
She was
she
vibing.
was you know, in a good headspace to deal
But
with.
we got some good stories out of those two, so I appreciate that.
We got the Comic-Con juice.
Yeah.
As for me, I'm on Twitter and Instagram only at Sean Soapbox. As you can tell, I'm at Tyler's house, which means I'm not in my house, which means I need to get to my house.
True.
So
You
my
ain't
plug
staying
is I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see you, bed.
Damn.
Going to the Marco Mobile.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys down the road. Thank you so much for watching. For Tyler and Marco and Kale.
And
I'm
Jordy.
Sean. And
He's on the show now.
Yeah.
So.
Already.
I'm Sean
Regular
saying
guest.
we're the Comics Pals signing off. Take care, guys.
See you next Comic Con. That worked, right? I don't know. Oh, I gotta run to the other room to turn it off.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Hold on.
Stupid.
No.
Interpretive dance.
That exit is closed.